You are listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin. To master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Once you walked in a forest of splendor in which everything you did and everything you thought was aligned. It is possible at this time to begin to return to the old knowledge. Intuitive healer and manifestor Julia Griffin is here to talk about this unique time in history when all sentient beings, animals, plants, trees, and the earth are intent on creating this change. The wolves awakened her to the most incredible light, which opened gifts and brought knowledge that she longs to share. You are creators, and you are born to be creators of beauty, possibility, and joy. Join Julia on a journey into a beautiful and magical world where amazing possibilities exist. Let us help open the door. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening with Julia Griffin starts right now.
Hi, everyone. This is Julia with the Power of Inspiration and Awakening show. We have a very special guest, Donna Fairhurst, and we'll be talking about transition, which we're all moving through right now with all the changes in the world. You'll receive tips and insights. You'll find out more about what's going on in the spiritual world and how you can acknowledge and align with this. You'll learn how to better focus yourself and the very best actions to take and the best attitude to have. So let me tell you a little bit about Donna. She's an intuitive life and soul transition coach, Reiki master, psychic medium, empath, and auric and chakra intuitive. She has studied spiritual and healing modalities and has practiced for 40-plus years, embodies the highest degrees of awareness, and is attuned to vibration healing via combined Reiki, chakra, and auric resonances. Combining psychic ability, scientific aura imaging, and more, she empowers her clients and students to their highest levels of personal awareness. As a life soul coach and practitioner, she is dedicated to raising the vibration of the planet one student at a time with joy and purpose. Her website is Soulful, that's Soulful, F-U-L-L, solutions.ca. That's in Canada. So welcome, Donna. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Julia. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to grow and glow and flow and know together.
Yes, it is. So let's tell our audience a little bit about you. You've been a medium for much of your life. You help people with transitions, and we're definitely going through one now. So tell us how you decided on this topic as a life skill and as a coach.
Well, transition has been the modus operandi for my entire life. I have been doing nothing but transitioning from one level to another from the day of my birth until this moment. And we are all masters of transition. We're just not aware that we have a PhD in the University of Life on Earth, and that's our mission. That's the mission we choose when we come here. As a human being, just because you showed up here, it means you're a hero on the other side, because the University of Earth is the toughest one in all of the universes. And it's designed so that we can know ourselves, grow ourselves, flow and surrender to the energy that is within and without us. And without us, that energy doesn't exist. And from sharing and knowing and growing and surrendering to our own flow, we get to glow, we get to raise our light and resonance so that we can be one with all that is, and that we can mirror that for everything and everyone in our life. And as that, it makes us powerful teachers. So I bring people back to
That's beautifully said, and I'm going to go on a little bit with that. So if you're here, you've chosen a difficult planet, you must be really on top of things because you've chosen a very difficult assignment. I wanted to ask you, can you give us a few examples of transitioning and tell us about the skills that are needed to master it, or at least move a little more skillfully through it?
Well, in my own life, it meant recovering from polio that I contracted at age 1, navigating through near blindness that wasn't discovered till the age of 12, multiple relationship failures, business opportunities that, grew and failed. And with each challenge, with each failure, and they were significant, especially on the health front, I realized from birth that I could see and talk and commune with spirit in a way that other people didn't seem to be able to do, or were not awake yet to the fact that they could. And as a child, I just went with it because a child doesn't question what shows up. It's just there, and let's play with it. It did cause a great deal of problems and consternation and fear in my family and with my folks. And so early on in life, I shut it down completely. I put it in the closet, and I didn't bring it out. And I only engaged when I was very, very alone and private with it. And then challenge after challenge made me dig deep into the world and deep into myself and bring it forward. But I was reluctant to share it. I'm older. It was in the age of woo-woo, and the kind of things I was talking about, got you burnt at the stake a few centuries ago. So it wasn't something that people were very open or willing to hear. But as I traveled around the world and I grew and matured, I found wonderful teachers to lean into, and I learned from them and kept it very private. And much later in my life, when I had transitioned through many, many careers, I'd been a teacher, I'd been a traveler, I'd been a travel agent, I'd been an entrepreneur and a business owner. And then I put that aside and went to work as an executive manager in a corporate company. And I thought I'd reached the pinnacle of my success. I was done with relationships that didn't work. I was done with jobs that didn't work. I wasn't tilting against windmills anymore. And I really felt at peace with myself. And the one thing I declared was that I didn't need anything outside of myself to feel complete. Well, God really laughed at that one. And she immediately sent me in my soulmate to challenge and test and level up my passion on every level. And I ended up leaving the ivory tower, ditching the big executive job, returning to a small town I'd left 5 times and said I'd never return to. And at that time, I put away the corporate suit and I put on coveralls. And at the age of 54, I asked myself, what did I want to do that was different and new, to really challenge myself? So I asked my husband if I could go to work in the company and that he owned, which was a small manufacturing company in our town. And I knew that he thought that I would be, the executive planner and manager and handle the bookkeeping and the clients. And I said, no, I want to learn to be a millwright, a machinist, and a welder. I want to work on the floor in the shop. I want tools. And he said, what? But then he smiled and said, of course you do. You never do anything normal. So he brought me in, he trained me, and I did that for 5 glorious years. And then I semi-retired and took up gardening and writing and the things that you do when you hit your mid-60s. And I was bored as, pardon the pun, hell. And so I was talking with this about him. And then all of the stars just aligned and the people came in and I was getting messages from, source and guides and angels and friends. And it was saying, it's time. It's time to wake up and to bring it out. You're a teacher. You have a mission to share, and times are going to be tough. This is necessary and needed. And I told my husband about this, and he said, it's beyond time. It's beyond time. You're wasting your gifts. If you don't do it now, when? If you don't do it now, why? And if you don't do it now, who besides yourself are you failing? And it was a big wake-up call. And it was really, really scary. At 64, I outed myself as a psychic, as a medium, as an empath, as a teacher. And it was really shocking for a lot of people that had known me their whole life and finally discovered they didn't know me at all. So that was challenging. A lot of relationships fell away, but a lot more, much more serving, higher aligned relationships have come into my life, like the one we're sharing right now. And we
Yes, and I think you have made such an important point, there are so many people that are born with gifts, and there's such a reluctance to bring it out into the world and to use it. I know it was a huge struggle for me. I can remember lying awake at night and thinking, I just can't do this. But then once you do it, it's like all of a sudden the ground under you is a bit more firm. And I think it's so important what you're saying, because probably a lot of people are going through this right now. Yes, they're intuitive. Yes, they can pick up on things, but they haven't really committed to it. And that is part of what's going on, don't you think?
Absolutely. And trust. You have to really lean into trusting your intuition, trusting what source and energy is bringing, and not really questioning it. If you have too much attachment to it, you're operating from the mind map and the ego brain. You're not operating from your heart-centered map. So it's really important to create a space for what I call sacred soul self. That's where you join your mind map, which is absolutely necessary and critical to your physical survival and your education, with your heart map, which is led divinely from your soul and energy space of all that is. When those two join hands and they hold on tight and they trust each other, there is nothing in the world that you cannot do, cannot create, and cannot be if you choose it.
Beautifully said. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about the path of the heart, how it relates to the transition that we're going through right now with COVID and all the changes in the structure of the world. Mm-hmm. I've been talking with my guest, Donna Fairhurst, about these changes and about how you can move into your spiritual self, how you can align with your heart and create a life that's on a higher spiritual frequency that will create safe ground for you. So let's go to break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about all these fascinating topics.
Sometimes being human has its challenges. Our physical health falters, our spirits sag, our dreams don't immediately come to fruition. Welcome to the power of Maximum Medicine Radio. Join me, Doc Martin, in conversations that will blow your mind about healing. In our hit show, Doc Martin addresses the scientific with bridging to the mystical approaches to give you a new narrative about maximum medicine. In this live call-in show, we will journey into the extraordinary genius of the human body and talk about other beliefs that impact being your multidimensional self. We seek the seen and the unseen and explore the earthbound and the otherworldly, all with the purpose of calling forth the maximum you. To learn more about Doc Martin and Maximum Medicine, visit www.sharonmartinmd.com.
Hi, this is Kimberly Carlson, and I would love for you to tune in to All In Healing Radio, where together we will begin to experience health, happiness, and harmony in all areas and aspects of life. Join us every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. on transformationtalkradio.com. All In Healing will help you release layers of negative beliefs and energies for radiant health, deep joy, and greater abundance. Visit me at KimberlyCarlson.com.
How many times do you find yourself saying, "It was nothing," or "just doing my job," when really you knocked it out of the park? How did you get like this? Next time someone tells you "great job," you'll know how to accept it and not deflect it by listening to Courage to Be Seen Radio with host Sherry Clark. Sherry Clark is an experienced global engineering leader, coach, and mentor. From her experiences one-on-one coaching to corporate consulting and executive coaching, Sherry has learned many women need at least 3 things to discover and face success. Learn about the ACES program, how to survive male-dominated fields with grace and authenticity, and reach the top without ever once giving up on who you are. Courage to Be Seen host Sherry Clark explores the awesome power of your entire self and how far you can go by being more you. Check out her website, CourageToBeSeen.com. You have the courage to be seen. See you later.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin at OneTrueSelf.com, ONETrueSelf.com, and you're listening to The Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio. Today, we're talking with Donna Fairhurst. She's a medium and an empath, and she's talking with us about transitions, how we can move into our hearts into states of higher consciousness in this time of change. It's great information, so stay with us throughout the hour. Donna, you wanted to share a sound healing and a Reiki healing with our listeners, so let's do that now.
Thank you. So I'd like you to just really take some gentle breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you exhale, make as much sound as you can. So that would sort of be like this. And do that 3 times. And then just let the following sounds enter deep within your soul space. And as the sounds fade, bring forth the highest vision and your greatest challenge. And know, too, that this is part of your journey. And you will grow and know and flow and glow from all that is coming forth. And so it is. And so it is.
Thank you,
done.
Donna. Very pleasant. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you about something. We chatted before the show, and you and I both saw the coming changes in the world as a bridge to a higher frequency or a decision to stay at a lower frequency. What can you tell us about this? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I tapped in with my guides and particularly my guardian angels this morning, and I asked them to bring me the 6 messages that we most needed to hear today about the transition that we're in, and we will be in for some time. This is a time of great power, and it's going to take great strength. We are transitioning to a new level of human awareness. Every being on the planet is being asked from where they are, who they are, what they are, what they have, to step into an awareness that they are a part of the answer. They are creating a new way of navigating the planet. And everyone in their big and their small ways is necessary and needed for this to happen. There's going to be a great deal of darkness that's going to come in to challenge as we are dealing with COVID now and world economies struggling. This is part of the trajectory of humanity. And we haven't had this strength and breadth and depth of knowledge and energy coming in since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. That was the last time we had this amount of change coming onto humanity all at one time very, very quickly. So what we need to do is first have trust and faith that we can withstand every single change. We need to lean into our strengths. Some of us are teachers, some of us are healers, some of us are communicators, some of us are worker bees that help the daily cycle of life to go around. And all of this is going to be challenged, and all of this is going to be ramped up. And we need to trust that we're exactly where we need to be. That is our power, knowing and trusting we are where we're supposed to be, doing the work that we're supposed to be doing, and also calling forward our flexibility and our own vision, educating ourselves on energy modalities and ways that we can ramp up our own energy, our own experience, our own ability to manifest, and to know that with a simple word, the power of our word, the strength of our word, the respect that we should have and give with our word, and the love that this can create is going to bring in the new vision, the new power of humanity.
And let me add in something that I've received on this topic, which is, it's like when I have meditated deeply and when I connect with the spirit of the wolves, I've said, so how do we change this? What do we do? And they're like, it's an individual thing. Everyone needs to start manifesting now what they need. Give up the diversions, focus very hard on your visual, believe in it, feel it, create it. And I'm like, but it takes a good bit of time sometimes in the material world. And you were talking about modalities. And that was one thing that I received a message on, is that our old gifts that were shut down thousands of years ago are being turned back on. Soon it will not take so much effort or so much energy. And that's one of the very positive directions that we're moving in. So I wondered if you could comment on that for me, Donna.
Absolutely. We early on in humanity trusted our connection with Earth and trusted our connection with the universe. We were divinely aligned with all that is, and we were in the flow of the natural order of Earth. And as we grew and we became more ego-based and more eccentric rather than concentric, the circle of life, we disengaged and we disabled the flow of universal and earth energies within our society, within ourselves, and we became very egocentric. We went from a place of calm and coherence connected to nature to a place of chaos and incoherence. And that chaos and incoherence comes from the egocentric mind. When you're in chaos and incoherence, when you're operating from a soul mind map, not connected to soul, you are evaluating everything and everyone. You're in judgment. When you're in judgment of yourself, others, or a situation, you're creating more problems that are ego-based. And when you do that, you compromise your soul and your energy and your ability to be calm and heart-centered. When you're calm, you're in coherence. You find value in every situation, good, bad, or indifferent. You are non-judgmental. You are respectful.
Okay, so let me recap what you're saying here. As we became more ego-based, we judged how well we were doing on how things looked in the outer world. And we let go of that interconnection that we were creating through nature, we were creating through God force. And so many of us are in the outer world right now that there is a lot of judgment and a lot of comparison. And that's something that we have to move away from in this transition. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We must create heart-based, soulful solutions. We need to create cooperation with all that is, with who we are, what we are, where we are, how we are, and bring that out into our greater communities. We need to educate our children how to make heart-based decisions. The older modalities that were considered woo-woo that helped us, crystal energy, the energy of music and tone, the energy of prayer and supplication, the energy of connection with everyone. That's missing. People are disconnected. People are on autopilot in their lives. And they're hoping and wishing for something or someone outside of themselves to change what is for them. And in doing that, they think their world is going to be a better place. That's never going to happen. The only change, the real change, comes from within each and every one of us, stepping into owning and being accountable for our power, for sending out a radio signal, a message to the world and the universe that we are one. Regardless of race, religion, creed, color, philosophy, country, economics, This is a Berlin Wall moment. I'm sure those of you that are older and those of you that are younger have certainly been educated about it. That was a pivotal moment in humanity where humanity stood up and said, it's enough. This wall won't stand. We need to cooperate. We need to join. We need to communicate. We need vision.
So we're at a moment that we're moving from separation into realizing that staying in our heart and finding the dream and the desires that are hidden in our heart and living that way is essentially the answer to manifesting what we need, despite what's going on in the world, and to find some joy and peace in it. So that's such a beautiful thought, Donna. We're getting ready to go to break, but we're talking about the changes that you can make, the way you can find your inner beauty, your inner power, your inner faith, and you can make changes in your world during this big time of change. So let's go to break now, and we'll talk more about this when we come back.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthisfunny.com.
Yeah, yippee skippy to that, baby. We're not done yet. Some of us are out here to educate and inspire. This year, 2020, is the year we gotta show me the money in the cash flow. I'm Dr. Pat. This is the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By.
Visit thedrpatshow.com.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed by your mind? Powerless when it seems to spin in worry circles or bombard you with self-critical thoughts? Do you want to learn how to master your mind and feel more in control of your life? Listen to Dr. Friedman's Empowerment Radio. Shift from confusion to clarity, self-doubt to confidence, and from anxiety to peace and balance. Dr. Friedman and his many guest experts share the insights and tools you want to live with greater ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in to Empowerment Radio every first and third Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
Everyone, I'm Julia Griffin at One True Self, onetrueself.com. You're listening to The Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm talking with Donna Fairhurst about making positive changes during this time of transition, how to become calmer, how to live in synchronicity with your heart, and how to manifest the things that we will need as the planet continues to change. So stay with us because it's information that we all need. And I'm going to begin by asking Donna, tell us about a heart connection, how you know when you're connected with your heart, and how you develop that.
Oh, well, the first thing I do every single morning is a clearing prayer where I call forth my light and I lean into it to create calm. And I can talk a little bit more about the calm principle later. But it's a clearing prayer that aligns me with purpose, with passion, with peace, with light, coherence, and love. So I can say that for you right now, and we can create a web, a vortex, a beam of light in this triangle that we're in between your Blue Ridge Mountains and the lovely city of Seattle and my town of Penticton in British Columbia. We can create this triangle, a vortex of energy, and everyone that's listening can lean into this light and receive healing and the calm that they need to negotiate the coming transitions. So if you would all just lean in to this energy, you might be feeling a little bit of a buzz in the top right side of your head. You might be feeling it down the right side of your body. Whether you are or not, trust, this is the trust and the calm, that it's there for you. And as I say these words, repeat them to yourself. I call forth my light. I bring forth my essence. My true self is now within and around me. Everything that is not me, I send back with love to Source, never to return again.
That's great.
We're not done. I call forth my light. I bring forth my essence. My true self is now within and around me. The wisdom of ancient sacred soul is now revealed. The energetic signature of my immortal self brings me the truth I need. Source fills my field and bathes my cells, systems, and consciousness with pure light. I am light. I am coherence. I am love. I am that I am. So I am. Amen.
Amen. So I was going to say, for people who haven't really felt that, haven't felt their hearts open yet and make the connection with the universe, it's the way that you see a baby jump when it sees its mother. It's the way that your dog acts when you walk through the door. It's the way that you feel when you're in love with someone and you both smile at each other after not seeing each other for a while. It's a lift. Yes. And it's a love that really doesn't want anything other than acknowledging that that love and that light is coming in at the same time that you're putting it out, or vice versa. And so that would be a starting point.
Yeah. Sometimes, too, it's acknowledging that love hurts. Sometimes because you love someone and you see them in pain or in trouble, it hurts. Sometimes you love and want to express it and you're unable to for various reasons, and it hurts. But that hurt is a necessary part of the journey. It helps you to transcend and level your game and bring it up to where you understand that that is a necessary part of the journey, and then express the lessons of the journey with even greater love from your heart.
That's a really great point that you just made. Can you tell us some more? Because I think a lot of times light workers think, I've done the work. I've been consistent in what I'm doing, and now I'm in pain or my life is difficult. And that's part of transition. But how do you use that painful energy to go up a level as opposed to breaking apart?
Well, breaking apart is a part of the pattern. And patterns are ways of that energy serves us to know what is growing us and know what is keeping us stopped. Sometimes, often, we have to experience those places where we feel stopped and against the wall to rediscover and lean into our own strength and power. My husband's British, and the keep calm and carry on thing, that's a big deal. And sometimes I say to him, I don't know how you do this day after day and keep calm and carry on. That was early on. And he would say, well, what else are you going to do? It's here for a reason. I need to figure it out. And so I just soldier on. Sometimes it feels like we're soldiering on and that it's impossible, but it never is. And I said the word but because I want you to think about that. How many times in your life do you say, I would do this, but life could be great, but I could go here, but the buts that you bring in are your choice. Think of every time you say the word but from now on, I want you to know that you're taking energy away. You're dumbing down your field. But takes away. It's a negative energy word. Instead, substitute the word and. I'm having a difficult time, and I think I need to change something. I'm up against the wall, and it feels really hard, but it's something I have to go through. You see how I wanted to slip in but there? But and. So the one thing that I know above all is that the power of your words, how you express yourself to the world, is your radio signal to the universe. And what you say is what you bring more of to you. So if you continually choose a pattern of negative mindset, of negative heart speak, you're sending a message to all of the universal energies that only want to support you, only want to grow you, and only want to bring you abundance, success, joy, and a life of peace and prosperity and health. But when you say, I am tired, I am sad, I am mad, I am glad, please, those are necessary feelings. Express them as a feeling. You need to get that negative energy out of you. Express it as a feeling. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling mad. I'm feeling tired. And
okay, so let me ask here, when we say but, we're really saying I have a pattern that's blocking this.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say I know what the pattern is because I have my own little personal buts. I'm going to be honest about this.
Everybody does.
How would you work with that? What's the way that you do that personally? So I would go, okay, I just said but. I just limited myself. I know it's a pattern, but I'm not sure what to do about the pattern. How do you start with that?
First of all, we don't make it rocket science. We have been given the divine grace of the ability to change and have choice. So when you say but, say, gotcha. I call back the energy. That's all you have to do. Call back the energy. And rephrase the feeling, the thought. Rephrase the dialogue. First with yourself and with others. Could you give us an example? I was at a 60th birthday party for 3 friends that were turning 60, and it was kind of funny because it was all social distancing and COVID, and because of the circumstances, we hadn't seen each other in a very long time. Of course, all we wanted to do was hug. And I found myself, the teacher, saying to one of my dearest friends, I just want to hug you, but. And then I said, I call back the energy. And she just laughed and she said, you know that you say I call back the energy almost as much as you say anything else? Mm-hmm. And this is someone that really knows me well, that I'm very close and very spontaneous with. And she said, I said, I realize it. And she said, so, does that really help? And I said, yeah, of course it does, because you're declaring to the universe that you took a misstep, and right here and now I'm calling it back and realigning my path. Mm-hmm. Makes sense?
So, yes, it makes sense. Another thing we could do is say, if I'm saying but to myself, then this is a place where I need to manifest something different. Mm-hmm. Because you're not just coming to a stop sign. Let's just say you're stopped somewhere, but it means look at it differently. See an answer, feel it differently.
Yeah, you're not at a stop sign. You're at a fork in the road. And you have a choice to take the higher path or the lower path. Which one is going to bring you the greatest result? So sometimes we step onto a path and we realize it's not the right path. But we've already stepped on it, so we think we have to go forward. That is not the truth. You can always step back, realign, reassign, regroup, and reword and realign.
And rewrite the story.
Rewrite the story.
Because it is just a story we're living out if we're hitting the butt.
So I have a lot of re's coming up now, like rewind, remember, resolve, renew. Those are all re's add to, D's and buts take away. Mm-hmm. So just be aware of the negative self-talk that you have and how you give more energy to that by expressing it to others. And just little
and this just led me to a wonderful point, which is that when we see that something is wrong or something doesn't feel good, even if it's out in the world or it's within us, it's a huge opportunity to see it and feel it differently.
I call that a recipe for choice.
I love that.
You have an opportunity right then and there. Think about the word. Another thing, if we really break down every word we say, I did this for an entire 24 hours. I didn't sleep for 24 hours because this came in that our language, every letter in our language, in any language, is a lesson in itself. So if you look at the word recipe and you line out the words, the R is for realize. The E is for energize. The C is for create clarity. The I is for intention and integrity. The P is for purpose. And the E is for erase. If the recipe doesn't work, elevate and erase. And then
beautiful.
Go into choice. And what is choice? The C stands for calm. The H is for healing. The O is for occupy the space you're in right now. The I is for it's inside. It's an inside job inside of you. The C is create a circle of love, a circle of light. And the E stands for emerge from your choice in a better place.
Okay, now that is the perfect place for me to ask you this. A lot of structures in our society are breaking down. Do we see this as a destructive part of a new beginning? Is it just that things are moving out of the way for new changes? Or should we focus on what we might want in its place? Or all of those things?
All of those things. Everything that is happening on the planet today, good, bad, or indifferent, is a direct result of the cumulative choice, the cumulative energy of the choices that each and every one of us has made. We each, every one of us, man, woman, and child, bear a responsibility for what is happening. And it is only from the power and the integrity of our choice going forward that we will create the necessary energy for change, the necessary energy to elevate, the necessary energy to overcome the difficulties and create a new world of awareness, balance, cooperation, calm, peace. If we don't do it now here, where we are, then we are going nowhere. Now think about that. Think about the word now here and nowhere. It's the exact same alignment with just a little bit of difference. It's about the choices we make between where we are and where we want to go.
And I'm assuming that we're going to have to make choices that resonate with our heart, because otherwise it's not going to be lasting anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not going to be a positive change if we're not aligned with our heart. So one thing I was going to ask about is, are there different paths for those who are on a higher or a lower level, or do you see it differently from that?
In my world, we're all on the path. On the path, just as we are all different ages with different levels of education and different levels of awareness, there are degrees of awareness. Regardless of what happens, good, bad, or indifference, we are all going to another higher level of awareness. We all are on the same path. We travel it on different roads. Some of them are windy and twisty. Some of them have stops and gaps. Some of them have rivers and chasms to cross over. All of them, every single one is going in the same direction. Every single one, even the people we don't feel we love, the people we don't feel we trust, the people we don't feel we can care about, are on that path.
They're beautifully said.
Yes, yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I've died 3 times. I've had 3 near-death experiences that I remember. Apparently, I've had 4, but I don't remember one of them. I've come back each time I've crossed over, and each time I've been gifted with coming back. I've been brought to a new awareness of what is on the other side. Let me tell you, there is no hell on the other side. If you think you're going to die and go to hell because you made this mistake or that mistake, get over it. It is not happening over there. On the other side, which is not the other side, it's just a more awareness of the dimension that we're already in.
It's through the veil, is what I like to say. It's through the veil.
Through the veil. That's a good comment. It's a very thin veil. It's a very thin veil.
Very thin veil.
You can always access energy from and through the veil. So on the other side, all there is unending, never ending, never judging love that is in alignment with pure calm, pure heart, and pure cooperation. And everyone, even the ones that we consider evil, that transition, they go through that veil and they are expressed and encompassed and cocooned in love to raise their awareness from what we might judge wrongly as mistakes on this side of the veil.
And healed in many ways as well, I think.
A lot of times, unfortunately, as humanity, we have evolved a way of being erroneously that sometimes evil, what we would describe or define as evil or bad, has to show up to realign us, to show us where our values and our responsibilities for ourselves and others really lie. And if we are aligned with a path that does not bring love, peace, joy, cooperation, prosperity, and health for everyone on the planet, then we're not aligned. End of story.
So that's something people can really think about. And what kind of alignment are you seeing for the people around you? You know, I always think that's an interesting question, because I learned when all of this started back in March that if I projected energy outwardly and saw people, say, in a 5 or 10 mile radius around me as peaceful and calm, then I would feel that way as well. So there's a really important part of what you just said about everyone being aligned, and that is that we're all living together in this energy field or this soup, and you want the whole thing to feel good and to serve.
That's exactly it. If you think about calm, let's break that word down. What is the calm principle? Calm is communication. It's clarity. It's choice. It's cooperation with yourself and others. It's coherence. It's awareness, attention, alignment, taking positive action. It's listening. It's learning, educating yourself, laughing, loving, leaning into the good things and the hard things, taking a leap of faith every time you need to leap, and living large, not seeing this as a small goldfish bowl, but the whole universe. Your life is meant to be meaningful, and you're meant to be mindful of it. And when you use all of these things, communication, clarity, choice, cooperation, coherence, awareness, attention, alignment, you take positive action. When you listen from your heart, when you learn from heart-based people, when you laugh and you love and you lean in and you take leaps of faith and you invite people to leap with you and live large, that's meaningful. That's mindful. And from that space, you can manifest miracles.
Okay, so let's give them some practical tips. So all of you who are listening, you can meditate every day.
Yes.
And it's good to take at least 10 of those minutes to do it by yourself, like not listening to a guided meditation, but doing it for yourself.
Absolutely.
You can think about your heart. If the world feels disturbing to you, move into your personal peace and radiate it outwardly. And think about what you want to manifest. Where are your patterns? How do you get through them? And I would say this is one of the higher things that you can do for yourself and humanity as this kind of inner work. Because as you do it, you become more conscious and more peaceful. And then what would you add to that?
Connect, connect, connect with your guides and your angels and God, he, she, whatever source creator is for you. Take time after your meditation to connect with source, to connect with the God creator, whatever that is, wherever you are, whatever religion or doctrine you espouse to. Connect. I really, after my clearing prayer, I always do an angel invocation. Would you like me to share that with you?
If we have time, we just have a minute or two left.
I'll go through it really fast.
Okay.
Just lean into it. I offer a moment of my presence, attention, and love to the angels who surround me. I invite you into my home and into my life. I'm grateful for your blessings, gifts of healing, and abundance in every area of my life, wherever I go. I ask that these blessings reach out and encompass all the people in my life and in my world with whom I connect to create love, health, peace, joy, purpose, compassion, and understanding in that manner that is in the highest good of all concerns. I thank you for these blessings. And so it is.
Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you, Donna, for everyone who's listening. You can find Donna at soulfulsolutions.ca. So you can go to her website and find out more about her and her activities. If you want to know more about me, you can sign up for the weekly newsletter on my website, onetrueself.com, onetrueself.com, and receive many tips about the energetic weather, developing on a spiritual level, and finding a higher vibration. So I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to thank my guest, Donna Fairhurst. Again, you can find her at soulspacefulsolutions.ca. We've been talking about what you can do in this time of change. I appreciate your being here for me and being with me for the Power of Inspiration Awakening show, where you can experience a higher vibration and a new state of mind. Please join me on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month at 12 noon, 11 Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next time.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Join us next time as Julia takes us deeper into the memory of the moments of light where transcendence and enlightenment emerge. The memory of the jewel of consciousness is always lived within you to tap into waves of energy and create huge changes by imagining the beauty of the vision and desires that are hidden in the heart. Learn to find your way back to nature, beauty, and your own heart, which holds the secrets of your existence and future. To discover more about Julia's adventures, animal communication, and the teachings she brings to every show, visit onetrueself.com. That's onetrueself.com. That's ONE, trueself.com.